There is a coffee stain on your shirt. You noticed it the second you walked into the room, and now it is all you can feel. You are sure everyone has seen it. You spend the whole hour angling your arm across it, certain you are the person with the stain. Here is what actually happened in that room. Almost no one saw it. The ones who did forgot within a minute. You spent an hour hiding from an audience that was never watching. So why are you so certain everyone noticed when they so plainly did not? This is not just the stain. It is the time you stumbled on the stairs, the dumb thing you said in the meeting that you replayed for 3 days, the outfit you almost did not wear, the hand you did not raise in class because what if they all looked? If you believe a crowd is grading your every move, you will shrink your whole life to avoid a verdict that is never actually being handed down. So the real question is not whether you are being watched. It is how badly you have overestimated it and what that mistake has already cost you. In the late 1990s, a psychologist named Thomas Gilovich ran an experiment that is almost too perfect. He had students put on a t-shirt and walk into a room full of their peers. The shirt had a large photo of Barry Manilow on the front. Now, to a college student at the time, this was the most embarrassing shirt imaginable. The point was to make the wearer feel marked. Before the student entered, the researchers asked them a single question. Out of everyone in that room, what percentage do you think will notice your shirt? The students, cringing, guessed about half, around 50%. Everyone will see. Then the researchers asked the people in the room, how many actually noticed? The real number was about 23%, barely 1 in 4. The wearers had doubled the size of their own audience. They were certain the spotlight was on them, and for half the people they were dreading, the light was not even on. They named it the spotlight effect. The belief that a bright light is following you through every room, when in truth it almost never turns on. But a charming shirt is one thing. What about the moments that actually scare you? The researchers worried it was just the silly shirt, so they ran it again with your failures. They had people perform a task badly in a group, then guess how harshly the group had judged their mistakes. Once again, the performers were sure their fumbles were glaring. And once again, the group had barely registered them. The worse you think you just looked, the wider the gap between your private horror and the room's quiet indifference. The spotlight burns hottest exactly when you most want to disappear. It runs deeper than your shirt or your stumble. It runs all the way to the inside of you. 2 years earlier, the same researchers studied something they called the illusion of transparency. The belief that your inner state leaks out of you, plainly visible on your face. They had people give a speech while secretly nervous, or taste a foul drink while trying to hide their disgust, and then guess how obvious their feelings were to the audience. The speakers were sure their panic was written all over them. The drinkers were sure their revulsion was unmistakable. The observers, watching the very same faces, could barely tell. Your heart is hammering. Your thoughts are racing. Your face feels like a billboard. And the person across from you is seeing a person who looks, more or less, fine. So why does a clever brain get this so reliably wrong? The answer is almost sweet. You cannot stop seeing yourself. You have lived every second from behind your own eyes. You are the permanent main character of the only story you have ever been inside. Your stain, your stumble, your racing heart are the loudest things in your world. And because you cannot turn that volume down, you assume it is just as loud for everyone else. Psychologists call it anchoring. You start from your own vivid experience, and you fail to adjust far enough away from it. You quietly forget the simplest fact about every other person in that room. They are doing exactly the same thing you are. They are starring in their own film, and you are, at most, an extra in the background of it. Here is where the whole thing flips. You spend so much energy worrying about your audience because you are the star of your own film. But that is exactly why you are wrong about them. Every single person in that room is also the star of their own film. And in their movie, you are not the lead. You are barely in the credits. Think about it honestly. The stranger who tripped in front of you last week. The coworker who said something awkward. Can you even picture them now? You have already forgotten, because you were busy being the center of your own life, where you belong. So is everyone else. The crowd you are performing for is not a jury. It is a room full of people, too busy starring in their own story to keep score of yours. The spotlight you feel is real. You're just the only one holding it, and you have been pointing it at yourself. And that, once you really feel it, is one of the most freeing facts a person can be handed. If almost no one is keeping score, then the verdict you have been bracing for is never coming, which means you are free. Free to raise your hand when the question feels stupid, because the room will not remember if it was. Free to wear the thing, to speak first, to walk into the party, to send the message, to take the swing you have been talking yourself out of for years. The worst case you keep rehearsing, where everyone notices and everyone judges, is a screening that almost no one buys a ticket to. Learn this young, and it gives you back years you would have spent shrinking. And if you carry the kind of anxiety that turns every room into an exam, let this be the small mercy that it is. You're not on stage. You never were. So go ahead and be a little awkward, a little bold, a little visible. The audience you have been so afraid of is busy watching itself. And the only person who is ever going to remember tonight is you. So make it one worth remembering.